Hey, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, and great millstone. Peace and blessings to you, fellow brothers, pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity. Coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat, Kodash. All right, that's the name of the true power, Yahweh, and his son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls God in Christ. If I didn't say it already, double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, great millstone who taught us this truth. And we have entered into their labors, which they enter into their elders' labors. And we have this great awakening taking place right before our eyes. Now, I want to get into a quick little impromptu lesson. I'm going to call this one something like, can these bones live? All right, can these bones live? Now, I remember doing a video like this, similar video, maybe even the same title, man, maybe about like 5 years ago. And I was just kind of observing the tribes, mainly the Northern Kingdom. Okay, but regardless, you know, all our people, right? The Southern Kingdom as well. But we know that Judah, the Southern Kingdom had to get this word first, so the other tribes won't magnify themselves against, you know, the head tribe, the head kingdom, which are going to be all one, right? But there's an order to things, you know, as the scriptures say, let everything be done decently and in order. So let's forward to 2023, the hopeful year that all the prophecies are coming to pass. And, you know, you still have our people in this very low, dry, we could just say dry, as the scriptures say, dry ass state, you know, pretty much just walking in circles like they did in the wilderness, you know, just super dry, bugged out, not even considering what is placed in front of them. So I was just kind of, you know, looking, you know, observing, of course, the tribes, and again, can these bones live? Okay, which we understand through prophecy that one third are going to return. A remnant is going to return to the Heavenly Father, right? But two parts are going to be cut off. They're going to be left here in Babylon, you know, mainly here in Babylon. And then you're going to have, I mean, you have more Israelites. I would say you have more Israelites outside of Babylon the Great, okay? Now, mostly all the tribes are here, right? All the tribes are here, and this is mainly where the awakening is going to take place. But you got to have more Israelites in Central South America, okay, which a lot of them are coming up here. Oh, the west coast of Africa, you know, Nigeria and Ivory Coast and Ghana, you know, even going down into South Africa. South Africa was a big slave port, okay, before they were, you know, Jake was being shipped off to different parts of the Caribbeans and even the Americas. And then, you know, you got the Latin tribe, the Latin speaking tribes. You see what I'm saying? You got tribes up in Canada, and then you got Israelites scattered amongst all the other nations too. So, I mean, there's got to be billions of Israelites. At least half of the population, okay, got to be at least Israelites, okay. And this question was proposed to Ezekiel. Let me read this. Let me just start from the top. I don't know how long this is going to be. Lord's will, just something quick. Let me come over here. This is, you know, I was doing a walk, so it's all, you know, just in the spirit. Ezekiel 37:1. The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. Okay, and that valley is here in America, a low land. Okay, Babylon the Great. Okay, and it says, and caused me to pass by round about. Now Ezekiel's seeing this in a vision, if you will. Okay, and caused me to pass by them round about. So Ezekiel was seeing, Jake, the Israelites, in a particular state. And behold, there were very many in an open valley, right? Many, many Israelites. And lo, they were very dry, okay, which is a state of dehydration, which the spirit is water, right? The spirit is living water, right? And our people that are in this state of ignorance, the state of sin, they're in a dry state, a very brittle and dry state. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I mean, the way that the Israelites are now, I'm speaking about the ones that don't know that they're Israelites or reject that they are Israelites. Just looking at it on a fleshly sense, you would say, oh, hell no, these people. And this is what these nations, that's why they say, aha, we have seen a day that we look for. We pretty much got them in this dry state. This is the day. This was that council with all these nations. The tumult, the Psalms 83. Okay, also Psalms 2. What is it? Lamentations 2:15. Okay, they look for this day that Jerusalem, which are all 12 tribes, would be cut off from their power. And most of our people are cut off from their power. Okay, so pretty much the angel was like, can these bones live? Meaning, can these people wake up? Can they actually live? Because living is having the spirit of the Lord, knowing who Yahweh Shema Shai is and serving him. And I answer, oh Lord, God, thou knowest. So it's like, shit. I look at Jake, Ezekiel was seeing Jake in this low level state, consciousness, doing debates. Okay, Gad doing what's it called, the powwows and bugging the hell out. Jake going into witchcraft. Jake, he saw Jake in these churches, worshiping Jesus Christos, worshiping really Serapis, Jesus the Christ. Seeing Jake worshiping Muhammad, seeing Jake just worshiping self. And again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And this also was voiced to the different disciples, the apostles, and then also the disciples to pretty much say these things. Hear the voice of the Lord. Let me bring Matthew 10 out. Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 Yahweh Shai sent forth and commanded, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Okay, because this thing is only for the Israelites, the dry bones. We were all once dry, bugged out, having a zeal, but not according to knowledge, right? One moment. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which that's that dry state, the lost sheep. Because the sheep is supposed to be in the fold. A lost sheep is out of the fold with no protection. Okay, no shepherd. So the Lord told his disciples to go, which were later apostles, and to also to teach other men that will also be able to teach, right? To build this thing, to go to the lost sheep or the dry bones ultimately. Okay. And what were they to go and say? And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead. Okay, because a dry bone is dead. Okay, it's pretty much saying the same thing. It's allegorical or poetic. Okay, cast out devils, freely ye have received, freely give. So it's the same thing that Ezekiel was being told. Let me read that again. Verse 4. Again he said, this is Ezekiel. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones. and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And through the dry bones, the preaching, right? Through the preaching, faith faith cometh by hearing the word. The dry bones will ultimately become what? Lively bones, okay, with flesh on them now, and sinew, and then ultimately the spirit. Thus said the Lord unto me, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live, right? Because you were dead. And we just read in Matthew 10, the Lord said what? The raise the dead. So through the preaching of the word, the dead, okay, which is our people in a dead state of not knowing who they are, not acknowledging, okay, their power, Yahweh, okay, and the Son, Yahweh Shai, okay. And I will lay sinew upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Right. And this is happening right now through the preaching of the word, through the preaching of Yahweh Shai. Okay, the bones are now being covered with the muscle, right? The sinew, the flesh, and then ultimately the spirit to make it a living being. Because prior to us knowing that, we were Israelites, all right, and acknowledging Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, we were dead. We were dry. Okay, so Ezekiel was told to prophesy unto these bones, really in this time, because that's when the bones will be dead, okay, and dry. So I prophesied as I was commanded. That's what we're doing now. Speak down the words of prophecy, in the ears of my people. Okay, and so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bone came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinew and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Yeah, there's our people, starting to, have knowledge of self, okay. But ultimately, the what makes it a living being is the breath, which is the knowledge, the 100% truth, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of Yahweh Shemal Shai, which our people do not have, okay. Neither will it be given to the majority of them, which they have been rejected. A lot of Israelites that you see out there, they even might be calling themselves Israelites. They have the T-shirt garment, where it's not wicked if you have, a T-shirt with fringes on it. But nevertheless, that's not our ancient custom. We didn't wear T-shirts with fringes. We wore garments down to the foot. Okay. So I'm just gonna say that. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus said the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Right. Revelation, the 11th chapter, the dead body shall lie in a great city, which is spiritually Sodom and spiritually Egypt. Right. And then you go down, you continue to read. It says, after 3 days and a half, the spirit of the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which seen them. So this is what's happening through the preaching of the word, okay, prophesying unto the wind, okay, speaking the word. The spirit is entering into those that are written in the book of life, to awake out of that dead, dry state, right? But as I should say, but you're going to have the 2/3, and that's a greater number, that are going to be stuck in that dry, even, they might even have the flesh on them, the sinew, on the bone, right? But they don't have the breath. That's what ties everything together. When the Lord, he breathed the breath of life into Adam, then he became a living being, which is the understanding of Yahweh Shemal Shai, okay, and his purpose on the earth, or his purpose for us on the earth, as far as prophecy, as far as We've pretty much gotten everything that we need to know, okay, in order for the Lord to, deliver his elect, okay, and this in the second death to come, which is by fire, and Yahushua to return, okay. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceedingly great army. Okay, and that's what you see today. All right, the tabernacle of David being risen. Was that Amos, the ninth chapter, Amos 9:11? Right. That's that exceeding great army, and this is not talking about an actual physical army with, men doing push-ups and, knowing how to, shoot M16s and with daggers. This has nothing to do with an actual, physical army that's going to go to battle, okay, on the battlefield. All right, because if that was the case, then it's an automatic loss. Okay, this is speaking about the Israelites coming to the knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai, all tribes. Even though the Latin tribes, they, a lot of them are still stuck in that, that state. You're gonna have, hey, according to prophecy, all right, all that's needed is 12,000 out of each tribe, right? But we know that there's going to be a larger multitude as well, okay, of believers, of men, women, and children that are not actual prophets. But mainly it's going to be the prophets, okay, and their families. But you're going to have also believers, men that are going to be, that are also going to believe, that are helps and stuff like that, right? Like you have secret disciples. Joseph Arameath was one of them. Yahushua had secret disciples. You had what's it called? Was that John the third chapter? Uh, uh, Gamaliel. I believe that was Gamaliel. Is that Gamaliel? Let me just check. Um, Nicodemus. I'm sorry, Nicodemus. But Gamaliel as well. Okay. Let me see. Where am I at? Ezekiel 37. Verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. So there you go. It's not talking about all nations. That's why the Lord said, don't go into don't go into the way of the Gentiles, and unto the Samaritans enter ye not, because they're not Israelites. Now, afterwards, the Paul went unto the Samaritans, because you had Israelites that were amongst the Samaritans. But Cornelius had to come in, okay, in order for it to be opened up into the Gentiles. There's certain things that had to happen before the Gentiles started to come in, okay, and that actually started with Peter, okay, and then Paul, he was a prophet, a teacher unto the Gentiles, okay, and we were also Gentiles, which is, you being in a dry bone state, you calling yourself, you know, what's a FBA, foundational Black American, or you calling yourself, Cherokee, you calling yourself Nicaraguan, Mexican, or whatever, I'm mixed, I'm this and I'm that. That you're in a dry state, but now that we have the spirit, we have the flesh and all that, and the most important is the spirit. Now that we're living beings, what are we saying now? No, we're Israelites, and we get a lot of pushback from the world, of course, and even the people that are close to us, our family, because not everybody in your family is going to be a believer. Well, a lot of the majority of your family are going to be unbelievers. You might just be the only believer. Your mom, your dad, they might somewhat, because believing is really doing. That's actual belief. Um, James said about that, works, and not by words, but by works as well. You got to have of course, you got to speak the words, but the works, the actions actually show that you actually believe. So who really believes, right? It's not, oh, I'm an Israelite. Okay, what's next? And they just, it's just a regular, they still voting and going to church and, you know. So they have, maybe the flesh put upon them, but they're not living beings. They're still dead. They're still in their dead state because they don't have the flesh. I'm sorry, they don't have the spirit. Excuse me. So the bones are the Israelites. Behold, they say, our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts, and that's here in America, in which the devil Esau, he pretty much, he was the enemy that did that. He was the one who pretty much took, you know, you know, took our heritage from us through the act of slavery, through the act of iconoclasm, through the act of revising history, okay, through the act of deception, lies, deceit. Now we've grown up multiple generations here in America and even different parts of the earth. And even when there are certain groups that say that and claim that they are, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, either he'll, shadow ban it, he won't really, he'll bury the information. Okay, like a lot of the West African, a lot of the Nigerians know that they're Israelites, but it's not like not too many of them like really practice it. You see what I'm saying? Because they're brought up in a new way. They have the flesh, as the scripture's saying, but they don't have the spirit. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so the bones are the house of Israel, right? And they say that what, um, all hope is lost. Let me actually get that when they say aha. I believe that's Lamentations, but I mean I can search it. This is the day that we looking for. Right. Lamentations 2 and 15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Now what is Jake known for? Jake is known for being a thief, being a robber, being a degenerate, and a lot of them are. Okay? The scriptures say that the whole head is sick. That's the 2/3 that have no sense of identity. Their identity is a nigga, is a hood nigga, which a lot of that so-called culture was given to him. But I mean, Jake is wicked as hell. Okay, now that the word is out, you supposed to cast off those ways, and you supposed to teach, okay, your people to be holy. You supposed to teach your sons and your daughters to be holy. But you see that that's not happening because really they're rejected. The Most High has rejected them. Okay, so Jake is known for all things negative in the earth. They're actually looked at as the problem in the earth. Okay, when it's actually the Esau, the devil, right? But he has transformed himself into an angel of light, through his craft. All thy enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and they gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. You can see that even on the comment boards. When it's concerning Jake, you can see you can hella see the racists come out. Okay, all type of racist comments. Okay, that's really how they look at you Israelites. Now, on the other hand, they'll worship you for your talent, but that's because you're entertaining them. Outside of that, if you're not entertaining them, which is nothing but serving them in a way, pleasing to the flesh, if you will. If you're not doing that, then your ass should just shut the hell up. You don't have a voice, right? Where am I? They hiss and they nag their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. So this was the whole plan of all these nations from the jump, was to cast us down from our excellency. What Psalms is that? What this was all the Heavenly Father's plan to do, really to fulfill His prophecy. Okay, because Ezekiel had to see dry bones. Yes, Psalm 62. Psalm 62 and 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. Well, you had, Jake coming out of captivity, coming out of slavery. They prospered. You know, so-called Black Wall Street, Rosewood, and I mean, there was many black, and it was really all the tribes. I mean, mainly I'll say Judah, um, Judah, Gad, Reuben, even Issachar. They had, bustling cities. They were actually doing better than the Edomites. They had better homes. They had barbershops. They had banks. They were also doing trade with the Europeans. The Europeans stopped trading with the Americans because Jake's product, and you can go into the history, brothers done videos. Jake's products were far superior. Okay, a lot of these ideas that you see, a lot of these ideas came from Israelites. Okay, that were stolen, their so-called intellectual property, and it was monetized, pretty much damn near everything. Okay, so their whole mindset is to cast down Jake. Is to when Jake is doing good, okay, how do we make them do bad? How do we put blockers on them? Or let's destroy their family. Let's because it starts with the family. Let's break up the family. Let's take the father out of the household. Let's get a hold of the woman. Okay, and that's really all that Esau needed. Oh, let's do the drug route. Let's do the gun route. Let's do the gangster. Let's throw out gangster rap. These things have been thought up, deceitfully thought up, planned out. Okay, to do what? Let's read it again. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency, right? Because we're supposed to be more excellent than our neighbor. Okay, we're supposed to be a special holy people, right? But we're in this low, dry state as a whole. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Yeah, and they will make it seem like they're with you. They'll make it seem like they're blessing you, and we're for the black and brown. Look what we've done. We ended slavery. You know, you can get a passport now. You can travel. You can travel in any state. If you have enough money, you can buy a house in anywhere in the world, or anywhere here in America. You can really prosper here in America. Look at Will Smith. Look at Jay-Z. Look at all these Israel. Look at all these Jakes, these black men that have money. And that's all that image. That's all that's placed in front of you, which that's not even a reality, man. That's not reality. But our people are following after that false reality, which is putting them in a even lower state than they came out of. But that was all done by the devil, okay, Esau. Which really, let's go back to Lamentation. It was the Heavenly Father that accomplished, okay, what he wanted, okay, and that was to take Jake, knock Jake off that high horse, man, being proud to the curses was also part of that contract we made with the Lord. Okay, the Lord has, verse 17, Lamentation 2 and 17. The Lord has done that which He has devised. He has fulfilled His word that He commanded in the days of old. See, this was all in the days of old, and Jake don't consider that because it hasn't, the Most High didn't actively say it right now. This was in the past that the Lord said, hey, look, if you do this, this and that, this is gonna happen to you. Okay, and then Jake said, okay, yeah, we gonna do it. We ain't gonna go off. Which it was all set up in the spirit, which now is set up that we're coming back to our power. Okay, So this is more proof that we are actually those people that's written about, because you can't you can't um you can't pinpoint, okay, and say that this applies to any other people but the Israelites. Well, the curses were to be a sign and a wonder. Okay, all these nations, they come over here and they prosper. That's part of the curses. When you Israelites, you here, and you still stuck in that low state, man. Okay, he has set up the horn of thy adversaries. Oh, let me. I'm sorry, I skipped a little bit. Let me read that again. The Lord has done that which he has devised. He has fulfilled his word that he has commanded in the days of old. He has thrown down. He has not pitied. See, it was Yahweh Bashem Al Shai that did that, man. Okay, you know, Esau, what, you know, things that Esau did to the other nations did. That was the Most High, man. Okay, he didn't pity. He said, hey, it gotta happen. I told him. And he has caused thy enemy to rejoice over thee. Isn't that not what we see? He has set up the horn, okay, which is the power of thy adversaries. Okay, their heart cried unto the Lord, O wall of the daughter of Jerusalem, let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest, let not the apple of thy eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night. In the beginning of the watches, pour out thy heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands towards him for the life of the young children, the faint for the hunger in the tops of every street. Behold, O Lord, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Right, because we weren't supposed to drink of the cup, but we have surely drunken of that cup. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a long span? Yeah, because Jake, you know, Jake was eating their children, man. Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord? The young and the old lie on the ground in the street. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thy anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Okay, I mean, I can, you know, I mean, you can read a little. No, there's one more verse. Thou hast called as in a solemn day my terrors round about, and this is going to happen again. Okay, to the 2/3, the elect, they're going to be delivered during this time. Okay, but the Most High he's gonna send his sword in again, man, Esau. Okay, and the Lord's not gonna pity in this day. Okay, so that in the day of the Lord's anger none escape nor remain. Those that I have swaddled and brought up has my enemy consumed. Right, because we're the Lord's people. All right. So let me go back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 37 and 12. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus said the Lord power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. And that goes hand in hand with Revelation 11. You know, we were not allowed to rest. We were not, allowed to be, have a burial, which is the understanding who we are. Okay, being put back in our land. None of that was accomplished. Okay, because the enemy, we read in Lamentations, this is the day that they look for. But now that the spirit is coming back upon us, not all of us, because a lot of Jake's still in a dead state. Now that the spirit is coming back upon us, okay, fear. Let me read that. Let me go ahead and let me read that, because that literally links up. That's the precept. And then I'm just gonna close it out. Revelation 11, and I'm gonna start at 8. And their dead bodies, see, shall lie in the street of the great city. Now, is it actual dead bodies lying in the street? No, it's not talking about that. It's talking about Jacob in that dead, dry bone state, which spiritually It's called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, meaning crossed out. The real Yahweh Shai was crossed out, and the white Christ was given to you. And our people are worshiping. They have that image in their mind. And and I and they are the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. See? Right? Shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. But the Lord said that he was going to open the graves up. Okay? And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, just as we read in Lamentation 2. They rejoiced. They said, this is the day that, we look for. We have swallowed her up. All the tribes. They did a number on us. Okay? And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And that's the two kingdoms. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And that's the prophecy going to Ezekiel 37, as we read. Okay, Ezekiel, which represents the prophets, prophesying unto in the valley, in that low land. Okay, the dry bones. Okay, and through the prophesying of the dry bones to the dry bones, there were some of those bones that were going to get flesh. Okay, and the sinew, basically it become a body. And then there was going to be even a smaller number, a remnant of those bones that were going to receive the spirit, okay, which is the breath of life, okay, unto salvation. That's the ultimate. We're not just doing this just to do it. This is going to be, this is going to basically turn into the deliverance. Why all this is happening. This is not just, some, acts of random events. This is all going to lead to salvation. So I'm going to close it there. All praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh Shemam Shai. Until next time, shalom to the elect.